Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Rigathi Gachagua had an interview with some Kikuyu Media Houses, and he made some very interesting remarks that I want us to have a look at here, for they are going to inform the basis of our analysis right now. I have no capacity to advise President Ruto because he is my boss. Sometimes he listens to me and sometimes he convinces me of his decision. He has brought people who did not vote for us into the cabinet and is the best person to explain that. My main job was to ensure that slots that were meant for Mount Kenya region were retained to ensure that my people are taken care of. Regarding Gachagua, 4th August 2024, it is true, we agreed to set traps against Raila. It was William Ruto who had told us that Raila is a dangerous man, and I believed him. However, when I noticed Raila and Ruto were meeting and appearing to have a deal, I kept off. After all, this is Ruto's house, so I stopped monitoring the traps and became busy fighting alcohol. Rigathi, again, it's disrespectful to me and to my office for some overzealous government officials to associate me with the demonstrations and even grill some of my staff. They have been moving goalposts from Uhuru Kenyatta, Rigathi Gachagua, to some NGOs and now back to Gachagua. What is the role of intelligence in this country? DP Rigathi Gachagua. Those are just some of the remarks Rigathi has made this evening. I want us to put those remarks into perspective for Kenyans to understand the high-octane politics being played here. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. Let's start with Rigathi's first sentiments. He has brought people who did not vote for us into the cabinet and is the best person to explain that. My main job was to ensure that slots that were meant for Mount Kenya region were retained to ensure that my people are taken care of. Rigathi is the deputy president of Kenya, but is still talking about Mount Kenya, about the slots that were meant for Mount Kenya. How are those slots benefiting the Mamamboga hustler on the mountain? These are the brand of politics that Kenyans on the ground, the hustlers, the Mamambogas, must reject. These politicians are just appointing their allies into top government positions for their own personal interests. There is nothing a CS appointment is going to benefit that Mamamboga on the ground. That's what Kenyans should know. And when Rigathi says that Ruto has appointed people who never voted for us, I'm seeing a Rigathi Gachagua who is indirectly trying to campaign for the shareholding narrative. He's just trying to tell William Ruto that this is a shareholding government. It's only meant for those who voted for us. But he can't say that directly. That's why he's beating about the bush, that Ruto has brought people who never voted for us. So I'm seeing a tribal Rigathi Gachagua, a Rigathi who was not yet ready for national leadership. He's still stuck in Madira politics. We know that he was just serving his first term as a member of parliament for Madira. Kenyans hurriedly made him a deputy president. He ought to have matured a little bit in his constituency. This is a man who was not ready for national leadership. He's saying, it is true we agreed to set traps against Raila. It was William Ruto who had told us that Raila is a dangerous man, and I believed him. However, when I noticed Raila and Ruto were meeting and appearing to have a deal, I kept off. After all, this is Ruto's house, so I stopped monitoring the traps. Rigathi has been talking over shareholding government. Right now he's talking over Ruto's house. It might be possible that Rigathi Gachagua is now coming to terms with the reality that he's not a co-president to Ruto. This is Ruto's government, and all shares belongs to Ruto. Rigathi has no shares in this government. I'm saying Rigathi is now coming to terms with that reality. And he's coming to terms with that reality because of the looming impeachment. He's just trying to be humble so that he can be sympathized with. That's why he's now saying, this is Ruto's house. He does not want to appear to be competing with this boss. But whether that will save him from the looming impeachment, it's only time that will tell. And when Rigathi says it's disrespectful to me and my office for some overzealous government officials to associate me with the demonstrations and even grill some of my staff, I see a Rigathi Gachagua who is too desperate to hold on to his position as a deputy president. It's clear that he's unwanted in this government. Why can't he not just gather the courage to resign? Because if his close associates are being grilled, being interrogated, then that's clear. Rigathi Gachagua is the person being interrogated here. Why can't Rigathi just gather enough courage and confidence to resign? Rigathi can't resign. That post of a deputy president is too lucrative for Rigathi to resign. He'd rather die than to resign. And this again exposes the greed by these Kenyan politicians. They hold on to the office even if their services are no longer needed. I believe William Ruto no longer needs Rigathi Gachagua. And that's why he brought Raila Odinga and his team into the government. That should send a very clear message to Rigathi Gachagua that his continued stay in Kenya Kwanza is no longer beneficial to William Ruto and his team. As a principled man, I think it's very bad of Rigathi to continue holding on to that office if he knows for sure his stay there is no longer needed. He should just resign. As I conclude, I'm seeing a Rigathi Gachagua who is just preparing himself for a duel with William Samoei Ruto. Rigathi is trying to seek sympathy on the mountain, and that's why he called those Kikuyu media stations, and he was actually speaking in Kikuyu. He was not speaking in Kiswahili or in English, but in Kikuyu. Sometimes I fail to understand how William Ruto ended up with Rigathi Gachagua as a deputy president. So the blame goes squarely to William Ruto. He did nominate somebody who was not yet ready for national leadership. Rigathi is not a symbol of national unity, but is a symbol of national division. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Any person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Thank you. God bless you.